Stay one step ahead of everyone else on board with our 25 insider tips and tricks we wish we knew before our first AmaWaterways cruise that will save you time, money, and stress. Plus, stick around as we share the river cruise hack that will completely change your next sailing regardless of the cruise line. Up next. Now, unlike many ocean cruises, and even some river cruise lines like Viking, AmaWaterways does not offer a drink package. Yes, you'll get complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks during lunch and dinner, plus select cocktails during the daily sip and sail cocktail hour. But for beverages outside these times, you'll pay a la carte with charges applied to your onboard account. This is something to consider when budgeting for your cruise. And in all honesty, the drinks are modestly priced, with most beer, wine, spirits, and cocktails priced between 5 and 8 euros with no additional service charges or gratuities. If you want a larger stateroom without paying the full price, take advantage of AmaWaterways' cabin upgrade bid program. Watch your email for an invitation before your cruise that details the available upgrade categories. You can place a bid, and if accepted, you'll be notified before the sailing. If not, you won't be charged anything. Just remember that once accepted, bids are non-refundable, even if you don't like the upgraded stateroom's location. So if you really have your heart set on a particular cabin or cabin category, you might be better off selecting that cabin at the time of booking, but you can still get your preferred cabin at a discounted rate. In fact, you can sail with fewer crowds and better pricing if you consider cruising during the shoulder season, which is typically early spring or late fall, at least for river cruises in Europe, rather than sailing during the peak summer months. During our February Danube sailing, we avoided the summer tourist crowds, with the cruise line offering significantly reduced cruise fares as well as cheaper airfare. Yes, it was chilly, but that beats scorching July and August heat, and some ports during this off-season cruise were practically empty. If you enjoy your AmaWaterways experience, don't miss out on the future cruise discount. You can secure a 5% discount on future cruises by purchasing a future cruise credit while on board or within 30 days of disembarkation. The best part? You have 2 years to confirm your choice of itinerary, and this discount combines with loyalty savings. Booking the future cruise credit is so seamless and easy, you can even do it right in the AmaWaterways app. As we mentioned earlier, there's no formal nights on an AmaWaterways river cruise. In fact, for river cruising, pack for comfort and versatility. Comfortable walking shoes are essential for excursions, and regardless of the season, be prepared for variable weather with lightweight, packable layers. The dress code on board is casual and relaxed. And while you definitely don't need to pack formal wear, you might want to take one nicer outfit, as there's typically a captain's welcome reception one evening of the cruise. Also, don't forget a travel power converter for Europe, a portable power pack for charging your cell phone and other devices while ashore, and if you're traveling in the summer, a small portable fan can be a lifesaver. But there are actually a few things you can leave at home that we typically take with us when we go on an ocean cruise. For example, one of our tried and true ocean cruise hacks is to bring magnetic hooks for extra storage. Unfortunately, we were disappointed to discover that the cabin walls on our AmaWaterways ship weren't metallic, so these hooks were completely useless. Thus, you'll need to rely on the built-in storage or bring alternative organization solutions. But on a positive note, we were able to store our luggage under our bed in our cabin. Thus, our luggage did not take up any vital space that we needed to store all our other gear, clothing, and accessories. Before sailing, download the AmaWaterways app. It contains daily schedules, excursion descriptions, your cruise itinerary, and even live tracking of the ship once on board. You can even complete your guest survey in the app. Don't worry about connectivity. Wi-Fi is included in your cruise fare, and during our sailing, it worked well enough for us to check emails and the posts on social media. And while it took over a day, I was able to download and upload one of our YouTube videos during the sailing. Of course, if you prefer paper copies of the daily schedule, just request them at the front desk. Unlike most ocean cruises, AmaWaterways allows guests to bring unlimited alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages on board. You can bring these items on embarkation day or pick them up at any port during your cruise. There are no corkage fees either. While their website states personal hair straighteners aren't allowed, we had no issues bringing Heidi's on board during our sailing. However, AmaWaterways does have a list of prohibited items that you're not allowed to bring on board, and these items are pretty typical of all types of cruises, such as candles and irons. So just make sure to check their website to ensure you don't pack anything that's not allowed on board. After countless hours waiting in line on ocean cruise boarding days, AmaWaterways' embarkation process was refreshingly efficient. With fewer passengers, we were literally walked right onto the ship and checked in at the front desk. In under 10 minutes, the staff checked our passports, handed over our key cards, and we were off to our stateroom. Our luggage arrived minutes later. Just make sure to complete the pre-cruise check-in process ahead of time. And depending on your itinerary, you are able to drop off your bags early at the ship and then go out and explore. For our best of the Danube, which was round trip from Budapest, Hungary, the ship's embarkation wasn't until later in the afternoon, but you were allowed to drop off your luggage as early as 9:30. So whether you're doing a pre-cruise hotel stay or you're just flying in the day of, you can go right to the ship, drop off your luggage, and then head out and explore and complete that expedited check-in at the ship later in the afternoon. The AmaWaterways fare covers quite a bit, including accommodations, all meals including specialty restaurants, your choice of daily shore excursions, Wi-Fi, specialty coffees, afternoon tea, and bottled water. You'll also enjoy beer, wine, and soda at lunch and dinner, plus sparkling wine and fresh juices at breakfast. Most onboard amenities are complimentary too. The cruise line even provides walking sticks, seated canes, and umbrellas when going ashore. However, you will need to budget for extras like laundry service, well, except on AmaMagna, which actually had self-service laundry facilities, beverages outside the designated times, staff gratuities, and spa services. AmaWaterways ships may be smaller than ocean vessels, but they're thoughtfully designed with luxurious amenities. AmaMagna in particular is a river cruise marvel, as this double-wide vessel is twice the width of typical river cruise ships on the Danube. But regardless of the ship, you can expect a lounge, a library, a fitness center, an open-air deck with a pool or a whirlpool, or in the case of AmaMagna, both. AmaMagna even features a full-size pickleball court and spin bikes. While there's no casino or large theater, you'll have everything you need to relax and socialize. Most ships have elevators for mobility concerns, though they typically don't reach the sun deck due to height restrictions. We should note that river cruising, by its nature, presents unique mobility challenges. Many European towns feature cobblestone streets, uneven terrain, and historic sites often don't have modern accessibility features. Shore excursions often involve substantial walking, sometimes uphill or on stairs. While Ama offers a variety of tours, which we'll get to in a few minutes, before booking, travelers with mobility concerns should have a candid conversation with their travel advisor about their specific needs. River cruising can still be rewarding for those with moderate mobility issues, but it's important to set realistic expectations about the physical demands of exploring these historic destinations. River cruising has an intimate feel with fewer passengers than ocean cruises. With everyone following roughly the same schedule, taking organized tours, gathering in the lounge for cocktails, and dining at the same time with open seating, you will quickly become familiar with all the fellow passengers and crew. You'll recognize passengers even before formally meeting them. For most, this social aspect enhances the experience, but there's limited opportunity to blend into the crowd if you're not feeling social. Your stateroom becomes your only true private retreat. However, you don't always have to be part of the crowd. It is true that the main dining room on AmaWaterways features open seating with no reservations required. Every meal becomes an opportunity to dine with different people as there's no table assignments. For extroverts, the rotating company is delightful. If you're more introverted, you'll appreciate that tables do come in various sizes, including a limited number of tables for two. We loved this flexibility, dining as a group for some meals and alone during others. One standout feature of AmaWaterways is the alternative dining venues beyond the main dining room. Most ships offer the chef's table, serving an elevated multi-course tasting menu at no extra cost, a major perk compared to ocean cruising and some other river cruise lines. But just make sure to make reservations for the chef's table as soon as you board the ship on embarkation day. AmaMagna actually had two additional dining venues, Jimmy's Restaurant and Al Fresco. Jimmy's Restaurant was open for dinner only and served the same menu as the main dining room, but served it family style as the restaurant comprised several large communal tables. The Al Fresco restaurant featured breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with reservations required for dinner, which did have a set menu which was distinct from Jimmy's Restaurant and the main dining room. Not a morning person? Well, you'll love AmaWaterways, as its ships feature a late riser breakfast that's served in an alternative venue every morning. While we knew beer and wine were included at meals, we were surprised to learn that select cocktails are complimentary during the daily sip and sail cocktail hour before dinner. The social event offers wine, beers, and cocktails from a set menu at no cost, including Heidi's go-to, a Cosmopolitan. The sip and sail cocktail hour is perfect for unwinding after a day of exploration and connecting with fellow travelers reliving that day's adventures. AmaWaterways places a strong emphasis on wellness, unlike some other river cruise lines. Their ships feature a fitness center and a wellness coach with complimentary yoga and fitness classes led by trained instructors. Bicycles are available for both guided tours and independent exploration in various ports, ensuring health-conscious travelers can maintain their routines while traveling. And as we mentioned, on AmaMagna, there's even a full-size pickleball court on the sun deck. While AmaWaterways excels in many areas, onboard enrichment programs were limited during our sailing, which actually really surprised us. The port talks were pretty basic, mostly highlighting the upcoming shore excursions, and there were no presentations on the history, culture, or other region-specific topics. We would have loved to learn more about the ports and some highlights that we could have visited during our free time. Given that the area has ties to Mozart and the Sound of Music, these were definitely missed enrichment opportunities. During our 7-day voyage, there was only one regional cooking demonstration, and a local music trio performed just on one evening. The only real ties to region were in the culinary offerings. A unique and thoughtful perk on AmaWaterways is the ability to send complimentary postcards from the ship. Simply write your message on the provided postcards, drop them off at reception, and AmaWaterways will mail them for you at no cost. In today's digital world, this charming throwback is a fun way to share your journey with loved ones back home. Most river cruise lines advertise a free complimentary tour in each port of call. However, we were surprised that AmaWaterways offered a few different tour options in each location. Sometimes this meant completely different tours, and other times this meant different activity levels for the same general tour. For instance, during our stop at Linz, guests could choose from a walking tour in the city or take full-day tours to either Salzburg, Austria, or a full-day tour to Český Krumlov in the Czech Republic. In other ports, walking tours had regular and gentle categorizations. These tours ensured accessibility for all guests. For the more adventurous travelers, active options like hiking and biking are also available, catering to diverse interests and abilities. Once you've decided which tour you'd like to take in each port of call, you can book pre-cruise via the app. Although we're not really sure if this is necessary, at least during our sailing, where you had to sign up for a specific time. Guests didn't know the time of these tours until right before. Then, on the day of the tour, guests need to stop by the front desk to pick up a tour ticket color. The color matched the lollipop of the guides walking outside of the ship, also allowed guests to request the same color if traveling with friends and taking the same tour. While we did appreciate the variety of tours and the tour paces, we didn't like not being able to plan our days ahead of time. River ships sometimes need to reposition while you're ashore. The captain might move to a different dock due to water levels, weather, or port congestion. Alternatively, there might be a scheduled repositioning where the ship drops you off in one location but picks you up downstream after your tour. Your cruise manager will typically explain the plan, but if you're unsure, always ask the front desk before heading out, especially if you plan to explore on your own. Given changing docking locations, you should always carry the ship's address and docking details when in port. This information appears on the front of each day's schedule. We always recommend taking a photo of this information, which includes the docking location and important phone numbers. This ensures you can find your way back or call for assistance if you get lost or delayed. In busy ports, your river ship might tether alongside another vessel. This means you'll need to walk through the lobby or decks of the neighboring ships to get ashore or to return to your ship. This common practice can temporarily obstruct the view from your balcony if you're facing the side of the other ship. Remember to close your curtains for privacy when docked this way, and just double check and make sure that you actually get on the correct ship, especially if several ships from the same river cruise line are tethered next to one another. River cruising requires adaptability as conditions constantly change. Unlike ocean cruises on deep water, river cruises navigate inland waterways susceptible to fluctuating water levels. If levels are too high after heavy rain or too low after dry spells, the ship may struggle with bridge clearance or navigating certain stretches. AmaWaterways might need to adjust your itinerary, swap port stops, use motor coaches for some segments, or even switch ships entirely. A flexible mindset ensures these adjustments become part of the adventure rather than a disappointment. For shore excursions, AmaWaterways provides Quietvox audio system, with each guest receiving a device and an earbud in their stateroom. This allows guides to provide narration to large groups without shouting. While most cruisers use the wired headset, here's our secret hack. You can connect Bluetooth headphones by using an AirFly device. This small adapter attaches to the Quietvox audio jack and pairs with your AirPods or other wireless earbuds. This way, you can store the Quietvox in a pocket or in your bag and still hear your guide clearly without dealing with any wires, which screams, "Hey, I'm a tourist." And what's great about this hack is that it works across most river cruise lines that use similar audio devices. In fact, when we sailed with Viking River Cruises, we used the same exact setup with their audio systems. Now, of course, Viking River Cruises is one of the most famous river cruise lines, and if you're considering them for your next river adventure, we put together a similar guide with all our insider Viking River Cruise tips and tricks. So head over to our Viking River Cruise tips video. That way you'll be one step ahead of everyone else on board, and your next river cruise will be smooth sailing.